This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Lots of fun, folks, or lots of fun questions about the Dark Side of the Ring series on Vice. People want your opinion on it. You and I haven't talked about it. Have you seen any of season 2 in the Dark Side of the Ring that's on Vice?
I've seen it all, and it depresses the shit out of me. It is dark, and it is, and I looked at Brock. It's funny, we just finished watching the Dino Bravo episode, and I looked at him again, and I went, man, this is depressing. And he went, hey, Dad, Jesus, it's called The Dark Side of Wrestling. What about that don't you get? And I guess he's right. Every episode is not a good story, and probably the worst stories in the history of the business, I would imagine. But it's, I tell you, it is very informational. And most of the stuff that I see on there, I'd never crossed paths with, a lot of these guys. I was never around Jimmy Snuka.
Or New Jack. You didn't spend any time with him.
Zero. So, I mean, and in those days, you would hear you'd hear a story from another territory, and it would just kind of go in one ear and out the other because it didn't affect you. It had nothing to do with what you were doing. And, there was no internet or any of that stuff. It might be a rumor. Hey, did you hear what happened at one of the WWF shows or one of the ECW shows or one of the Crockett shows? If there was an episode or some situation, you would hear about it and you would think, well, that may or may not just be a rumor, and it would just kind of fade away. But a lot of information that the producers that are putting this thing together are doing their homework. And it's, I've got a lot of, wow, I didn't know that, responses to everyone. And I've watched every one of them. Brody getting killed, that disturbs me. If that doesn't sit with you as a performer, knowing that could have been any one of us, then something's the matter with you,
It's a remarkable series. Tonight there's a new episode on Vice Channel 271. It's the story of Dr. D, David Schultz. It's called The Slap Heard Around the World. Most wrestling fans are familiar with the ABC reporter John Stossel getting slapped at Madison Square Garden when he asked Dr. D, this is all fake, right? But what you may not know is the fallout after the story. I've had a chance to see a screener ahead of time, and it is a tremendous story. You don't want to miss it. And I think the season finale is Owen Hart, and I had a chance to see that one too. Buddy, that is like one of the most emotional hours in the history of wrestling. Check it out. And there's a lot of talk in the trades that maybe they're working on Dark Side of the Ring season 3. Hypothetically, if that's going to happen, is there a story you'd like to see featured on?
No, let them surprise me.
Kevin has a fun question for us. He says, hypothetically, there's only 2 steaks left, but the Road Warriors and the Powers of Pain have yet to eat. Who's eating?
Ooh. God, I don't know. That's tough. Tough question. I guess it would probably matter on how much whiskey Hawk had drank. If he drank a little bit, that might be a Broadway. If he had drank way too much, I think maybe Barbarian would tip it the way of their team, maybe.
Sprinkle of Ginger wants to know, has Arn seen any of Zicky Dice, the current NWA television champ? The man is phenomenal on the mic and talented in the ring.
Not yet, but if that's a recommendation, I certainly will going forward.
Josh writes in, if Arn had to take one of Conrad's other podcast partners under his wing and train him to be his tag team partner, who would it be and why? Now, that's a tall order, because you'd be picking from Eric Bischoff, Tony Schiavone, Jim Ross, or Bruce Pritchard. And you've got to pick one. Who would be Arn's tag team partner?
Oh, I'd love to have Schiavone in the corner so I could torture him. It would be worth my time and effort just to see him fall down and the commotion that he would cause trying to get back up just once.
Yeah. You used to say that Larry Zabisco was a cigar store Indian. Can you imagine Tony Schiavone in the corner looking for the tag?
It may be a big swerve on all of us, and no disrespect to the other guys. I just like to torture Tony, but it might be a swerve. Tony might be half-ass tough and nobody be able to get him off his feet. What a swerve that would be.
In fairness, he's lived in the same house with Lois for 30 years. So he probably knows a thing or two about defending himself.
And if you don't think he's been hit with a plank in the back of the head a time or two, you're wrong.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.